Hi, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, 15th of March 2025, this is our fifth NFE's webinar. And today is very important topic that we are touching, the role of fire survival cable. This will be presented by Polycab, who has been partner of NFE for various programs. So before we um, talk about on the role of fire survival cable, I would like to introduce NFE, National Federation of Engineers for Electrical Safety. This association is one of the fastest growing association in India. In 2 years, we have crossed many boundaries. We have over 2,000 members. We have 10 chapter, very active chapter across India. So this year, our mission is to set up student chapter in every possible engineering college across the country. We have started with mass movement to educate students on fundamentals on electrical safety. So we will also be setting up electrical safety lab in most of the cities. So this is our mission for this year. Reach out to all engineering colleges and also have a strong presence where there's electricity. NFE wants to establish itself there. We want to certify electrical contractors. So if you look at our website, it's quite easy. Our website is nfees.org. When you click it, you'll get a lot of menus. If you look at home, about what we do, members, program, blog, we have blogs and listing all our recording. We have done almost 187 webinars on various subjects on electrical safety. You want to access to those recording, which is in great demand, not only in India, globally. So if you want to go there, you'll be able to see all our, previous webinars and also our videos. But that access is available only for members. So it's very important that any engineer or safety professional has to become member to access to this recording. So very simple. Right side you have a link there. Become a member. Within less than a minute, you can become a member and you will get membership certificate. That's easy it is. So we get access every day. We have 15 to 20 members joining, and we wanted to cross by 5,000 member by 2025 end. So that's our target. By December, we would like to break the record of 5,000 member. So what is our, the vision? Vision is to make every electrical installation free from accident, such as electrocution and fire due to short circuit. Our mission, we want to achieve our vision through getting accredited of products, personal certification, which is already in place. We shall focus on electrical safety by design, manufacturing, installation and maintenance of electrical product, and installation by competent and qualified manpower. I will repeat, our mission is to educate all the electrical engineer, certify them, and installation is done by competent and qualified manpower using quality resources. In fact, our design, electrical design, our one of the speaker has designed how do we design the entire circuit in a building, which follow the National Electrical Code of India. So if you have used the software, you will not deviate anywhere and it'll tell you where you're making mistake. It's a wonderful software. First time in India, we have introduced a software to design a circuit. It will tell you what kind of cable that you need to do, what kind of circuit breaker you need to have. So there are a lot of information that you can get out of that design. So what we are doing now, we are creating awareness on electrical safety, improve the skill of practicing electrical engineer, improve safety measures. So these are our activity of webinar, of our association. We have different type of membership. We have individual, corporate, MSME. This year, we will go global. There are a lot of demand from various other countries, Middle East, Egypt, Singapore, and South America. They wanted to become member. In the mid of this year, we will be opening our membership for international engineers also. So this is about our NFE. I would like to share on today's program. Okay. So today's program, our is all about the role of fire survival cable. I'm sure most of you heard about this, why it has been recommended, where it is recommended. So that's what we are going to understand. So the electrical fire poses major risk in our built environment. Ensuring the right infrastructure is in place is a crucial to safeguard lives and property. So fire survival cables play a very critical role in maintaining circuit integrity during fire incident, making them an indispensable element in modern electrical safety standard. So I wanted to extend my gratitude to our partner Polycab, who has been with us from the day we started our educating people. They are partner in education and for their commitment in advancing fire safety and the fire safety awareness. They have been with us for a long time. So this webinar is not about just collaborating and exchange idea to enhance resilience in infrastructure. I encourage you to actively take part, put your questions in the Q&A box. I request all the participants, your question should be on the topic role the fire survey cable. Do not deviate your question from other than today's topic. So we have an excellent speaker who is Debajyoti Mukherjee, who is a Vice President Technical of Technical Marketing, Polycab India Private Limited. So he's been speaker in various our workshops across the country. So he brings over a decade of experience in design, technology, and technical marketing. Before joining Polycab, he served as deputy manager at LAP India, focusing on technical design, vendor management, and product management. His expertise span project execution, product consultancy, and plant and machinery selection. Academically, he holds BTech and BSc honors degree, making him well-rounded, all-round leader in electrical industry. Beyond his professional achievement, he is also a passionate keyboard and guitar player. Hope one day we will be able to see him playing a good musical night with his keyboard and guitar. Myself, I am from the fire industry. I'm one of the founder member of NFE. With me, I have our president, Mr. Gopakumar, but he's traveling. I don't know how strong his signal will be, but he'll be with us today. He will try and join to moderate the question answer end of this session. So I now give this platform to my friend Devajyoti Mukherjee to share his screen and address the gathering. Thank you very much.
To all ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much, Mr. Dominic, for introducing me and giving an opportunity to present fire survival cable in this forum. So, wherever there is an electrical installation and electrical supply, there is always the high risk of fire, and that endanger our life. Fire is a very greatest innovation you can say in the world, and but if you do not follow the norm, and you will get a very bad effect or dangerous effect from the fire. So that is why this is always required to be follow. There are some norms. National electrical codes are there, NEC and NBC, and NFE is working for this safety. So we always request uh, people who are going for the electrical installation to follow national electrical code for guide as a guideline. So everywhere, if you see, there is a nowadays fire alarming systems are in place. This fire alarming system consists of hooters, then stroboscopes, then panels, then public address system. So these are all connected with the electrical energy, and this electrical energy is conveyed by wire and cables. Now, if there is a huge scenario of fire, and normal cable does not withstand this fire, and this cable gets short circuited, and whole electrical uh, fire alarming system is not working. So there is no use of using all this technology over there. So here, this fire survival cable comes into the picture, and now this product is widely popular, and many people are using, and we are asking many people, other uh, installation people, to follow this one also. And if you go to national electrical code, here it is clearly written that some of the places where the circuit integrity is very important, so there you have to use this type of product, you use this type of cable. So before going to the actual presentation, so just few information of our company, Polycab uh, India Limited. So we are number one wire and cable manufacturing in India. We have it in organized sector, and we have a 22% market share at this moment. We have 22 lakhs outlets, and more than 3,400, 3,800 dealers and distributors. So easily you can imagine that there are availability of polycab wires and cable next to your door. We have 28 locations where our manufacturing activity is going on. So major activities is going on in a place called Halol, nearby to Baroda, and another place is called Daman. Apart from this, we have factories in Nashik, then Roorkee, then Chennai, then Bangalore, and in future maybe other places it will be coming. So we are exporting our product to 79 countries. Out of this, Australia we have a office and warehouse. Then US also you have a warehouse and office. Then in Europe, Milan we have a office, and also India our head office is in Bombay. And so going to the presentation now, you can see some numbers. What do these numbers say? So we have gone through National Record Crime Record Bureau. So they have given some data that from 2019 to 2023, there are drastically fire accident reduced in India, uh, but simultaneously the fire accident increases in residential building. So if you see the figures or data, school buildings 23 number of cases and 28 casualties. Commercial building 328 cases, out of that 330 casualties. Residential buildings 6,364 cases, and the casualties is 6329. Quite a substantial figure here. So if you see the top five states where the fire accidents are much more bigger. So that is MP 15.2%, Maharashtra 14.4%. Maharashtra is having a lot of factories, lot of industries and high-rise buildings. So the figure is can be judged. Gujarat 8.9%, quite a good control compared to Maharashtra and MP. Though Gujarat is having a lot of industries and high-rise buildings. Chhattisgarh is 7.5%. I do not know why the figure is so high, because we compared to Gujarat and Bombay, the industries are not much over there. Same Tamil Nadu is having a good control, 7.1%. They have a good industries and high-rise buildings. Others are 46.9%. Basically, the fire accident in domestic area is taking place because of the majorly is a cylinder burst. So cylinder blast is the one major reason, but out of the this around 50 to 60% cases are because of the short circuit, and this short circuit is because of the non authentic or unconventional wiring. There are many reasons. Maybe we can see in the next slide. So one major reason is that unconventional wiring and not authentic wiring, following not following the guideline of NEC or IC, whatever it is. Then people are using faulty equipment and appliances. There it gets short circuited and then fire starts. Light fixtures, there are cheap quality lights are sockets are available in the market. If you see, even we have experienced in our house also, in the geyser socket, every 2 3 months we are getting it changed, because this is very cheap quality, and then after a few times of switch on and switch off, there are spark is going on, and this, because of this spark, there is a fire. Extension cord, in our living room, many people they are celebrating birthday and some other functions also. They highly loaded on the extension board without knowing the extension board cord, how much current carrying capacity it is. So after loading too much, then suddenly the cable becomes hot, and then fire takes place. Many places that uncertified electricians they are working, and then their circuit changed. Sometimes we found that many cases that neutral wire is highly loaded, and neutral wire is becomes hot, and then after that there is a melting of the insulation and gets short circuit. Poor wiring is another major maintenance, another major reason. Negligency, this is very important part here in India. The negligency is too much now. Many places, as Mr. Dominic said, we are visiting lot of places for the presentation, and even presentation house also we see the wiring are not as per the guidelines, is unconventional wiring. So many places it is there, especially in old buildings. If you visit any old buildings, so you can find that lot of wires unconventionally it is laid, and people have taken connection from there without any permission or so. So this is a huge load on this wire, and then ultimately gets short circuited. Electrical panels and circuit breakers, that is also a cheap quality, and then it does not work properly. Sometimes it is exactly the device, standard device or specification is not mentioned maintaining, so that is another reason. So whenever we have seen there is a fire and casualties, so analysis has shown that 70 to 80% of the casualty is not because of the fire. 70 to 80% casualty is because of the smoke and toxic gases, whatever people inhale, and then they fall sick and then die. Around 20 to 30% people are found uh, dead with a burning mark. So what happens basically here when there is a huge fire? So at certain temperature, everything gets fired, and especially plastics, wood, paints, uh, majorly that burns, and that creates a toxic and pungent smoke. So these toxic gases are basically uh, hydrogen chloride gases, hydrogen bromide, hydrogen fluoride, some carbon monoxide, like this. And when we apply water to extinguish fire, so then it reacts with the water and form hydrochloric acid, hydrobromic acid, hydrofluoric acid, like this. And when it comes to the human body, uh, the our eye is burning. Then if we inhale this, it goes to the lung, and then pulmonary failure is there, then poisoning is there, and ultimately people can die also. Many cases we have seen the firefighter gone up for firefighting, and then they become senseless or they become die because of this. Another major reason is that when there is a huge fire, there is a oxygen depletion. So oxygen is not there, so people cannot breathe also. So this kind of analysis has done, and this kind of situation created. And this kind of situation created because people entrapped inside, they could not come out because they cannot see because of the heavy smoke and dark smoke and toxicity. When this fire survival comes in this picture, this kind of accidents has come down. And okay, we'll slowly show how fire survival cable work on this, how it functions. So let us see how fire develops. So fire develops by a three criteria. One is that oxygen, another is fuel, another is heat. So oxygen, we do not have any control because it is available in the atmosphere, 21%. And if we reduce or if you increase, so people will die. We cannot exist. Fuel, we have a control. So if we have a fuel uh, control with ours, so then maybe the fire accident, maybe it will reduce. Sometimes we say fuel as a fire load. So if you consider any building, there are two types of fire load. One is fixed fire load, another is temporary fire load. So fixed fire load is wall, ceiling, and electrical construction, all those things. And temporary fire load is basically your wood, plastics, then oils, kerosene, and to some extent temporary electrical connections also. So when the house gets fire, so let us see this graph. It is a temperature versus time graph. So if we see that 0 hours, there is some heating started because of short circuit or whatever it is. So heating started, and ultimately then some point ignition starts. So when it starts the ignition, the fire is getting spreaded. So how it is spreaded? So many, let us say one electrical wire got short circuited, and then fire started. Now this electrical insulated wire, so this insulation material is always polymeric, and this polymer, when it burns, it it releases heat. So when it releases heat, so other part of the wire becomes hot. Let us take an example of matchstick. So if you burn a matchstick on the tip of the point, so when it burns, so it burns and simultaneously the heat is coming to the balance part of the body. So that gets heated and then easily takes fire. Similarly, so where is also, or any article is also getting like this when it gets fire. So other part of the body gets heated, and the other parts of the body easily getting fire. So here this fire is getting parallel to the x-axis, parallel to the time. Now here, if we do not take control to extinguish the fire, so at certain point of time the heat will so release that 300 to 400 degree temperature will arise. So this 300 to 400 degree temperature, most of the article in the house becomes at the auto ignite temperature. Means at this temperature automatically this will catch fire. So when it will catch fire, it will be a huge blast on this case. So 300 to 400 degree temperature, we say it is a flash over temperature. So any point of time in any house, there is a flashover temperature. After that, it blast, and then fully fire developed, and the temperature goes maximum to 950,000 degree centigrade, and this continues for some time till everything burns. By that time, we do not have anything to control this fire. So here, the fire survival come into the picture. If we have a fire survival cable, what it can do in 9 up to 950-degree temperature, it can operate, and whatever your important devices like lift, fire alarming system, water sprinkler, pump, everything will operate. And we give guarantee for 3 hours operation. By that time, if water sprinkler operates, then fire system operates, and people can come over there, they can fight with the fire, and then fire can be controlled. In addition to that, this fire survival cable has a tendency to not evolving any toxic gases. Means it does not evolve any toxic gases, and also it does not evolve any smoke on this. So wherever people get entrapped in the fire situation, fire scenario, so they can see each other, they can see the emergency escape route like staircase and all those things, and then they can easily evacuate from there. So fire survival cable helps a lot on this in these cases. So this is another time temperature curve. So in UK, some people they have tested, they burnt some of the material in a tunnel, and they wanted to see how much temperature it goes when there is a full fire situation. So this was taken a graph, and ASTM, American Standard Testing Material Society, they are also American Society for Testing Material, they are also there, and they form a curve that when fire takes place up to 700 750 degree, rapidly temperature goes up. After that, the temperature goes up slowly, slowly, and it goes to maximum 1100 degree temperature. This 1100 degree temperature it forms at the top of the tunnel. Means if there is a house and is if there is a fire, so 1100 degree temperature will come at the ceiling. So adopting this concept and adopting this time temperature curve, so many people came forward, uh, mostly BS, IEC, and later stage IS also, BIS also. So BS has developed standard 8434, then 8491 at different temperature region, and they worked a lot on this, and ultimately they set up a standard, testing standard, that is BS 6387. So that is a high standard for measurement of uh, circuit integrity at this temperature, 950 degree temperature. So from that time, so this testing standard is very very popular, and if you go to the customer, and customers are very much educated now, they are asking for, we want a cable which is tested in the standard 6387 at CWZ category. So CWZ category I am coming later, but this is the standard how they develop. Now why fire survival cable is required? So when the normal cable gets failed, there we need a fire survival cable. As I told you, when there is a huge fire situation, so normal cable does not work up to maximum 300 degree beyond the cable failed, and there fire survival cable work up to 950 degree temperature. So FS cable ensures circuit integrity during fire, prevents the fire propagation. So FS cable has another property. So it has a property of circuit integrity up to 950 degree temperature. It has a property not to evolve toxic gases and dark smoke. It has a property also low heat release rate. We say HRR, heat release rate is very low. Means when it burns, the heat does not release much over there. So the balance part of the body does not get heated by the flame. So prevent fire propagation by this way, compliance with fire safety regulation, and protecting lives and assets. So mostly fire survival cable goes to the hospital, high-rise building, metro tunnels. We are regularly, repeatedly getting requirement. High-rise building now it has come. Oil and gas industry uh, they are widely using fire survival cable because oil and gas industry is very much fire prone area, because their environment is solvent environment, and then any spark of light will give you fire. So most of the cables are fire survival cable in oil and gas. Now what is fire survival cable? Fire survival cables are designed to maintain circuit integrity during fire incidents. High temperature resistance. So this has material which can bear up to 950-degree temperature till 3 hours. Beyond that, we cannot give you guarantee, but in our in-house testing, we can see some of the cable can withstand up to 3.5 hours also. So that is a thing that depends on the quality of material, raw material we are using. Low toxic fumes to facilitate firefighter to take action. So many cases we have seen that firefighter gone to the floor for uh, extinguishing the fire, but they fall sick or they become senseless. So what happened? Let us say consider PVC. PVC is a highly popular insulating material for the wire and cables. So when you burn PVC, so there are dark smoke will come out, and this smoke, dark smoke, is basically consists of carbon monoxide and hydrogen chloride. So this hydrogen chloride, when you inhale, it goes to the throat and it chokes the throat. People cannot speak, and slowly it goes to the lung, and then pulmonary failure is there. So breathing problem will start. So, but nowadays, whatever fire survival cable we are producing, that is no smoke, is very little smoke. So I'll tell you how much smoke in the later case, and toxicity is very less, so that the firefighter can work comfortably, and the people entrapped, they can easily escape. Prevent fire propagation along the cable, I told you already. Essential for emergency system, high rise building, industrial setup and transport network. Going to the next slide. So FS cable construction and characteristics. So here little bit uh, insight of fire survival cable. What is fire survival cable and how it is constructed, how it works, that will elaborate here. So it is basically conductor is copper. So I want to mention here that conductor is always copper, and the standard whatever we follow, IS 17505, this is mandatory in India. IS 17505. Earlier we used to follow, there is a BS, British Standard Specification, BS 7846, that is withdrawn. So many people are still asking BS specification, but it has withdrawn 7846. Now IS 17505 is mandatory to be used in India. And another point is that many people are asking for the aluminum conductor, but be sure that none of the standard is specifying aluminum conductor in fire survival cable. Many companies are producing fire survival cable with aluminum conductor, but that is not as per the norm, and it certainly fails in the high fire situation. Because if you see, aluminum has a melting point is 600 degrees centigrade. When the fire goes to 900 degrees temperature, so the aluminum conductor melts. So there is no question of circuit integrity. Okay, coming into the construction. So conductor is copper. Over the copper, we apply one heat barrier, mica tape. So here it is very important, mica tape of application, heat barrier. Over that there is a insulation as per normal electrical cable construction. So sometimes we are manufacturing different kind of fire survival cable. One is that power cable, instrumentation cable, communication cable, and data cable. So wherever the instrumentation cable or data cables are there, their mylar insulation screen, sorry, EMI screen is there. Otherwise, there will be a inner sheath, inner jacket, which is low smoke, halogen free in flame retardant. Over that, there will be a armor, GI wear steel armor, and over that there is a flame retardant, low smoke, halogen free jacket, which does not produce much toxicity on this. So the these cables are available in with the key features: zero toxic emission. We said zero toxicity, but in case testing we did not find it is zero. It is always lower than 0.5%. And the standard, it has set up a limit of 0.5% halogen and carbon monoxide. So limited flame propagation, when we burn this cable in the laboratory and then remove the burner, so it burns certain length, and we check the balance length whether it is burnt or not. Means we check the unburnt area how much it is. So that falls into the specification. If it meets, then comply. Limited smoke. So transparency is 92%. Means if we burn this cable in a chamber, so 92% transparency will be there. So 8%, so small little smoke will be there, but 92% transparency means you can see each other, you can see the exit, you can see the staircase easily. Can people can move. Low heat of combustion. Here is a technology. So when we manufacture, or when we develop the compound, prepare the compound for inner jacket, insulation, or outer jacket, so when you burn this material, so heat of combustion is very low. So heat release is very low. So zero environmental impact. Environmentally, it is very eco-friendly. Eco-friendly. So environment does not spoil here. So people who are breathing, taking breathe on this environment is safe. Zero impact from rodent and termites. So we have a material over there in this compound, in this jacket. So rodent or termites does not come. High short circuit rating. So here the short circuit rating temperature is high. uh, High overload resistance. So overload resistance is also high. It does not melt immediately. So here one thing I should say, that the insulation materials are cross-linked. So many people they know cross-link, and many people maybe it is new term. So small, briefly I'll tell you what is that. So in plastics, in polymer, there are two kinds of plastics, or two kinds of polymer. One is thermoplastic polymer, another is thermosetting polymer. So thermoplastic polymer means, if you take a like your pen, then mug, bucket. So if you give a heat on this, so it will melt. The moment you cool it down, it will solidify. Again, if you give heat, it will melt. Again, if you cool, solidify. So this process can repeat. But this is called thermoplastic polymer. But when we say thermosetting polymer, so if you take a thermosetting polymer, you heat it will melt and char. It will never come back to the original state, and you cannot repeat this process. So here, thermosetting polymer means it is a cross-linked polymer. So here in the insulation, we use thermosetting polymer, means it is a cross-linked polymer. So whenever there is a fire, due to heat, it melts, but it chars. It charring material is also acts as a insulation. So this char or ash remain into the position of insulation and acts as a insulation, and therefore the short circuit does not take immediately. So here is the technology, major technology is here, how fire survival cable works. So many insulating materials are available in the world. Out of this, polymeric material is widely popular, but at high temperature, polymer material does not work. So many people tried with the glass, ceramics, glass, and all those things. So glass is not a very high insulation resistance, but uh, to some extent it works. But it melts at 650 to 700 degree temperature, and the moment it melts, there are some carbon particle forms, and these carbon particles are semiconducting material, and then it creates problem if we use glass fiber tape or glass tape in the fire survival cable as a barrier. Many people are doing this, but this has a disadvantage, that when it burns at 700 degree, it forms carbon particles which is semiconducting, and then short circuit takes place at higher temperature. So Mica is a material which is having very high temperature withstanding capacity, that is up to 1000 and beyond 1000 also. So here mica is applied over the conductor as a uh, heat barrier or temperature barrier or flame barrier, whatever it is. So mica is applying over the conductor. Normally we apply double mica over a conductor so that for safety. And whatever mica we are using, so mica is also, there are two types. One is that uh, called flugovite, which is having little bit low insulation resistance but very high temperature withstanding capacity. It can go to 1100 degree temperature, but the insulation resistance is little bit low. Another is called muscovite. So muscovite is having insulation resistance is very high, but it can withstand temperature up to 1050 degree temperature. Muscovite is costly, flugovite is less costly, and availability is very much. So whatever we do, we take muscovite's material, mica, because the insulation resistance is very high. Though it is costly, but it gives a better result on this. So muscovite material, uh, if you see the microscopic structure, it has a mica flakes. So mica flakes over there. So when you take a mica tape, you can see that the mica flakes, if you rub it, the mica flakes are coming down. So these mica flakes are widely distributed over a backup. Now when the rises, temperature rises to 800 to 850 degree temperature, so these mica flakes get little bit melted and sintered. It is called a sintered process. So it is a well sintered, and then apply a good barrier on the heat and fire. So this kind of material we are using so that the cable circuit integrity will be safe for 3 hours at least. So here there is a again there is a insulation resistance versus uh, temperature curve. The effect of temperature on insulation resistance. So whenever there is a increase of insulation temperature, the insulation resistance falls down. So that is in general. So if you, whoever taking cable, buying cable from us, so we supply two data. One is that insulation resistance at 27 degree temperature. So the insulation resistance is around 1 into 10 to the power 15 or 1 into 10 to the power 14 ohm centimeter. Another is that insulation resistance at operating temperature. So normally operating temperature, this kind of cable is 90 degree. So we supply the data insulation resistance at 90 degree. So that will be around 1 into 10 to the power 10 or 10 to the power 11. But when the temperature goes very high, this insulation resistance falls down. So if you see the green color, it is a glass. The glass insulation resistance as such it is not much, but when the temperature goes up, so it goes below this line. This line is designed, if something goes below this line, that material becomes semiconductive. So glass becomes semiconductive at 450 degree temperature. Now, red color line, we have developed many insulating material with aluminum oxide. Aluminum oxide is a good insulating material. So that also did not sustain at high temperature. At even 1000 degree, it has come down to 1 is to 10 1 into 10 to the power 7, less than that. Only mica, if you see the blue color, it is a mica. At 1000 degree temperature, it is around 1 into 10 to the power 8 insulation resistance. So this much insulation resistance is sufficient to pass current for 3 hours. Here the leakage current is there, but leakage current is not so high that there will be a short circuit on this. So that's why the mica is very safe material for using as a heat barrier or fire barrier or insulation barrier. Here is Polycab Ignis brand where fire survival cable. We have a Ignis brand fire survival cable with a number designated as 200, 201, 202, 203, like this, because that depends whether it is a power cable or control cable, or it is a communication cable or instrumentation cable, that defines. So this cable, it's maintained circuit integrity up to 3 hours 950-degree temperature. Then high oxidant index means at 36 degree 36% oxygen index means normal oxygen percentage, it does not catch fire. If you take the level of oxygen up to 36%, then it will catch fire, otherwise no. Low toxic index. So here we, as I already informed you, so toxicity index is 0.5%, and below we maintain at 0.3, 0.32. Higher visibility index, here the oh, there is a mistake here, not 82%, is a 92% high visibility. So normally our product goes to fire alarming system, lift operation. There's a fire lift. There, people are installing fire survival cable. Critical wiring circuits, emergency circuit, in that suppose all metro relay emergency lighting is done by fire survival cable. So even there is a fire in the tunnel, so you can see the light will be glowing, so people can see each other, they can find out the escape route. Sprinkler pumps. Nowadays, smart homes are equipped with sprinklers. The moment fire will start, automatically the sprinklers will work, and then water will fall down. So, their sprinkler pumps, fire survival cables are used. CCTV systems now people are using, because even there is a fire, people can see what is happening inside the fire. Public address system means when there's a fire, so from the control room of the high-rise building, so manager can speak to the people, also speak in the lift, because lift is also public address system is there. Then whole building management system also, people are using fire survival cable. So compliance now, many people, many manufacturers are manufacturing fire survival cable. Now, whether, how do you know whether the fire survival cable are reliable or not? So normally there are standards, as I told you, BS 6387 is the highly popular standard. If we follow this, the cable is safe. So performance of the cable as per 6387 is quite famous, and it gives a good measurement and good value over there. Another is that IEC 60331 circuit integrity test, that says circuit integrity test at 750-degree temperature. So if you go to 6387, so that uh, overtakes 60331. So 60331 very old, this one, circuit integrity test specification. So some of the people are still following. Whenever you think, any customer thinks that key, if there is a fire, the fire temperature does not go beyond 750 degrees, so uh, they can install this fire survival cable as per 60331. IEC 60754 and 61034 is basically uh, halogen toxicity emission uh, and smoke emission test. Then EN. Now new norm has come, EN 50200. That is a basically testing method, and is quite a similar to 6387. And UL 2196. So UL 2196 are more stringent on this, because their circuit and something is more stringent. But more or less the whole fundamental idea of testing is same as 6387. IS 17505 is recently released by Bureau of Indian Standard, and they have made it mandatory. Wherever whoever is manufacturing fire survival cable, they have to take approval of IS 505, and then you can sell it into the market. Any cable supplier, from outside the country, if they want to sell their fire survivable cable in India, they have to take IS 17505. Otherwise, it will be a legal action from the BIS. NEC 2023 and NBC IS 732 installation guidelines. I'll tell you, there is a very good, nicely drafted NEC 2023 and NBC IS 732 standard. Here, clearly installation guidelines are given. Clearly, it is written that how to select the cable, where to select the cable, how which type of cable to be select, which type of wire to be selected, and then which area, which type of cable will install. That is also been given. So it is nicely given. So I think the installer, if they follow this, I don't think any accident or any problem will be there. So here are some of the testing arrangement we have shown. So since BIS is getting popular, so we have written some BIS configuration here. So any customer, suppose want a cable, fire survivable cable, he thinks that only fire withstanding capacity is there, then my work will go. Means I want a cable where the fire withstanding capacity up to 950 degree is okay. So he can take 950-degree cable for 3 hours testing, which is symbolized F. Okay, I'll little bit explain on this. Uh, Let us have a situation in a house that there is a huge fire in the house. Now, what will happen? The fire is there, temperature is going up to 800, 900, 950 degree. Then what happened? That firefighter will come. They will apply water. So what happens? Let us say there is a cable in the home, in the house, or in the room, and the the cable is experienced with fire. Also, the cable is experienced with water also. So rapidly, fire and water. By that time, because it is a huge fire, there is a chance of falling some heavy material from the top. So this heavy material will may fall into the cable also. So that is a mechanical shock. So the cable is experiencing fire, water, and mechanical shock. With these three criteria, the cable has to work. The fire survivable cable has to work. Even it is experiencing fire, water, and mechanical shock, the circuit integrity should be intact on this. So, keeping this view, keeping this criteria view, so testing has been done, laboratory testing has been done, artificially created the fire, water, sprinkling, and mechanical shock also. So, right side, if you can see, there is a fire testing arrangement here. So, here there is a burner. This burner can develop a temperature up to 1000-degree temperature, and over that there is a cable. This cable is connected with uh, circuit. When the temperature start means the burner starts, this cable is connected with a load. So 1 kV supply will be there on this, and there will be some light will be glowing. The moment it gets short circuited, that light will be off. That is the testing. Now we have artificially created, when the fire is there, we switch off the fire and giving water, and immediately again we start the fire, again we apply water, then we apply mechanical shock by hammering on this. So this kind of testing is going on. So now coming to the left side, so if customer wants that I want only fire resistance, I will not go for the water and mechanical shock resistance. So he will take a cable which can withstand 950-degree temperature for 3 hours, and it is symbolizes, as per IS it is F, but as per BS 6387 it is C. Then some customer, they think that I want a cable which where the resistance should be fire and water, and mechanical shock does not require, because very less chance of mechanical shock is there. So there the cable uh, category or symbolization is W. He thinks that 650 degree temperature 15 minutes, followed by five bursts of water. It is sufficient. So this type of cable is called W. Then some people think that ki, no, no, I want a cable where three kinds of criteria is required: fire resistance, water resistance, and also mechanical shock resistance. Then the category will be S. So altogether, the category will be FWS for IS 505. And if you go for BS 6387, the F replaced by the C, W is W same in 6387, and S is replaced by Z. So 6387 it is Z. So altogether, this category is CWZ. In BS category, if you want to designate, you can say I want a cable of designated FWS. Uh, in BS 6387 category, if you say I want a cable as per BS, it should be CWZ. But CWZ is very widely popular, and many people know. Whenever they place an order, they said that we want a cable which in CWZ category means it can withstand fire. Intermittently, it can withstand water, and intermittently, it can withstand mechanical shock also. I think many people have a questions and confusion on this, but we want before leave this place, please ask questions and get it clear. If we know the answer, we'll answer this immediately. Otherwise, we can take the questions and later we'll send email. Anyway, next slide. Application of fire survival cable. Now, at this time, we repeatedly told you the application is mostly emergency lighting, public address system, escape routes, then fire alarming system, then fire and smoke detector system, sprinkler and smoke extraction system, rescue elevators, that is a fire elevators, data center, airport, tunnels, and hospitals. And whatever we have not written is that oil and petrochemicals area. And now uh, ONGC also offshore requirement is getting increased on fire survival cable, because oil rigs are working with a flame and all those things. So there it is now requirement has increased over there. Now coming to NEC, National Electrical Code. So National Electrical Code is a 763 pages, nicely drafted by BIS, uh, where everything is written very nicely. On the top part, if you see selection of wires, they have given selection which kind of wire to be selected: FR, FRLSH, and HFFR. So it should be self-extinguishing and low generation of smoke during fire, so that visibility will be there. Nowadays, all smart homes, high-rise building, people are using HFFR, which is called halogen-free fire retardant cable, and it gives a very good response. One more thing is that which is called VOC, volatile organic content. So normal FRLS cable, if we use uh, poor quality, so even it is passing through the wall, means behind the wall you cannot see, but there are some volatile organic contents which is coming out prolong if you are using on this volatile content coming out from the sockets, and it is inhaling by the members who is inside the home, and sometimes they fall sick, sometimes they have a generate some different different disease like asthma and other disease, abdominal problem. But people who are using HFFR cable, this does not have this is a very low volatile oxidant content, low organic content, VOC. So prolonged use, this organic volatile organic content does not come out much, and the people members in the house are very safe on this. Basically, the childs are very prone to this kind of disease. So child absorbs very fast and they fall into a sick. Next is selection of wires FS cable. See here, circuit integrity. Second sentence, if you notice, is that use of FS cable shall therefore be made where integrity of electric supply is important, especially to save human life and where electric supply is required for evacuation operation during the fire instances. So it is very clearly mentioned that it is a mandatory. So shall be is mandatory, and the cable are designed to withstand temperature from 650 to 950 degrees centigrade for 180 minutes. So wherever is the circuit integrity is important means whenever, let us say, you visualize or consider a house where a high fire situation is there, fire taken place, people are worried, they came out from the house and coming to the corridor. So normally it is a natural thing. Whenever there is a earthquake or there is a fire, people comes out and assemble into the corridor. So corridor is a area where is the circuit integrity is much. Then after coming to the corridor, so they are looking for a escape area. So escape part is either lift or staircase. So staircase is the escape route. So there are two things. One is that corridor, another is the staircase. Both the cases, FS cable is mandatory as per NEC. We do not know whether people are using or not, but big builders they have started using. We know Godrej, Hiranandani, uh, some other people also. But many cases we have seen this kind of cable did not use in the corridor and uh, escape area like staircase. So NEC is clearly mentioned. So I think we should follow this one, and this accident and other things may not happen on this with this. Another thing NEC is clarified that whatever cable fire retardant cable will be there, they should pass or comply this IC 60332-3 21, 22, 23, so many tests. So this gives you a test even there is a fire and the cable catches fire. So that at his heavy temperature, 750 degree or 800 degree temperature, after withdrawing the temperature, how much unburned portion will be there? That shows the testing. So initially half an hour we will apply high temperature and flame. After half an hour we will withdraw the fire, and then we will see how much unburned portion will be there, because the moment we withdraw the flame, then the flame will extinguish. So unburned portion we have to see. So this kind of cable, fire survival cable, should pass through this kind of test also. And polycab ignis is passing this. And one more thing I should mention, that if you see the polycab cable, there is a LPCB approval. I'll go back to the this part. So if you see here, there is a LPCB approval. Now many manufacturers are manufacturing fire survival cable, and customers are taking those cable, but customer does not have any testing arrangement to cross check whether these cables are really fire survivable or it will pass the fire survivable testing like 950 degree temperature 3 hours. Customer does not has the infrastructure. So what customer think, that let us test this in some third party agency. So many third party agencies are there. So they do the testing on behalf of customer, and they issue the report, and they show that whether it is passing or not passing, they give the report. In that, uh, out of these agencies, one renowned agency is BRE in UK. BRE is Building Research Establishment, is very popular in UK. They do this testing, and they issue certificate which is called LPCB, Loss Prevention Certification Board. So they issue this certificate, and this is very widely popular all over the world. And fortunately, in India, Polycab is holding this LPCB license with us. LPCB means uh, this BRE, they have tested our product, and they found this product is complying to BS 6387 at all respect. Then they give this LPCB certificate. So if you buy Any customer buy this fire survival cable, and they can see that LPCB certificate is there, so they will be highly that will be highly reliable. They can close their eyes and they can use wherever they want. But if you buy cable from any other manufacturer who does not have LPCB license or certificate, so it is, people do not know whether this is really complying the standard or not. People do not know, so uncertainty is there. So we recommend always buy a product which is approved by some renowned agency like BRE, LPCB. So as I told you, this product also passed through this test, and it should comply. It is a very very tedious and stringent test for this. Now it is a small comparison of what is fire survival cable compared to standard cable. Fire resistance is very high. Standard cable it is low. Smoke uh, it is low, but standard cable it is a high. Circuit integrity maintained. Standard cable lost in fire. Toxicity is very very low. Standard cable it is high. HRR, as I told you, heat release rate is very low, but other cable, standard cable it is high. Current overload and short circuit temperature is high. It is a little bit challenge. Higher cost. Fire survival cable is always there is a higher cost because the technology is costly technology. It requires some specialized installation, limited flexibility in some design. Uh, you cannot bend too much because the moment you bend, the mica tape will get affected on this. So we recommend that bending should not be much. It should be in a fixed installation process. So conclusion is fire survival cable are critical for life safety in modern infrastructure. Yes, it gives life. It helps to save life. Compliance with fire safety standards. It should follow. It is as per NEC and NBC guidelines. Adoption of advanced materials and testing will improve fire resilience. So with this, I'm ending my presentation. Uh, Mr. Dominic, is time is over or still it is there so that we
Sir,
can?
sir, we'll just take a look at our video quickly. I'll just put it up.
Yeah, Chiranjeev, you put it up.
Hope it is visible to everybody.
Yes, it is.
Fire is a serious hazard that leads to loss of life and property. The majority of the time in residential or commercial establishments, indoor fire events can be attributed to heating equipment overusage, power circuit failure, careless acts, and human error. The current fire protection measures in buildings do not account for all contemporary fire hazard issues, which has made fire safety a growing concern. Cables are the veins in any modern construction and are connected to every corner of the building, which is potential fire spreader. Most of the loss of life happens due to inhalation of toxic fumes in an indoor fire event. It becomes critical to minimize these and allow for the precious time to escape. A fire survival cable is therefore the need of the hour in critical installations and prominent places as a fire safety and mitigation measure. Presenting the Ignis cables from Polycab. Polycab Ignis is low fire hazard and fire resistance cable. It is dual powered, providing max safety and integrity. Polycab Ignis has high fire resistance, low flame propagation, maintains circuit integrity when exposed to fire, has low toxicity, and the fire barrier protects from electrical short circuits. The polycab Ignis are manufactured using cutting-edge machinery in a state-of-the-art facility and are extremely safe for human life. The wires are made using continuous vulcanization and infrared curing process. The polycab Ignis has composite insulation layers which gives more protection during a fire. The insulation layer is of high temperature glass mica tape of Muscovite type having excellent heat resistance as well as insulation resistance. The polycab Ignis has zero halogen compound in the sheathing. The insulation layer over the mica flame barrier has additional heat resistance. During a high fire situation, the insulation becomes char and acts as an insulant. The materials used have a higher oxygen index, making them hard to burn. The polycab Ignis lowers the smoke opacity and gas emissions, prevents flame from spreading, and reduces heat release, making it a low fire hazard. By doing this, it reduces the possibility of deaths due to suffocations. Polycab Ignis complies with various specifications described under the time temperature curve for the standard fire endurance tests, meeting the standards specified by BS and IEC. It can maintain the power circuit integrity and keeps it running for a minimum of up to 3 hours at a maximum temperature of 950 degrees Celsius, making it high fire resistant. Polycab Ignis is a must for critical applications like fire alarm systems, sprinklers, emergency lightings, elevators, and P&A systems. This keeps the building operational during a fire event, allowing for precious time for people to evacuate. The polycab Ignis is a result of years of rigorous R&D and therefore is extremely reliable. Polycab Ignis is certified by the Loss Prevention Certification Board, LPCB. LPCB certification is the best product certification available internationally. Polycab Ignis, the ultimate guardian.
Thank you, Chiranjeev. This is the only video that you wanted to play?
Yes.
Okay, so let's move to question answer. Lakshmi, I don't know, Mr. Gopakumar also is there. I will take up one by one. Devajit, you are there with us?
Yeah. Please
Okay.
go ahead.
So we have a question from Arvind Deshpande. In India, after fires, authorities say it was short circuit, but the short circuit is not that common as a protection. Do you agree with us? Okay, this is not relevant question to us. Yes, of course, I agree with you, but I need a question to on this particular subject. Tushar, while approving fire survey cable for 120 minutes for a site, which is a single manufacturing standard, should the data sheet comply with? Can you answer this question, Mukherjee? While approving fire survey cable for 120 minutes for a site, which is a single manufacturing standard, should the data sheet comply with?
Yeah. So 120-degree compliance is possible, and the data sheet is also available on this.
To which standard it should comply?
It should comply 6387 also. There is a old 6387. There is a 120-degree. It is there, so you can go ahead with this. BS 6387.
BS.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll dismiss this question. The Arvind Deshpande again, sir, you said fire survey cable withstand for 3 hours. Are they carrying current? Is any damage seen to outer sheath of cable? Do you recommend to continue this cable or replace after the fire?
Yeah, it obviously carrying current because we always say that is a circuit integrity. So there is a current passing over there. But when there is a damage taken place at the time of fire, so let it happen. After the fire situation is over, then we have to replace this one. So we cannot take a chance once again to use this cable.
Okay. Anil Bhatia is asking, are these fire survey cable recommended even for 11 kV and above, or low voltage up to maximum 1 kV?
Normally, we supply, people are using fire survivable cable either 650 by 1100 volt or 600 by 1000 volt. So high voltage, normally people are not using, and there is no standard at this moment for this high voltage.
Rakesh Goyal is asking, do we consider cable fire load during the fire load calculation of an industrial building? Do we have guidelines or standard for cable calculation fire load?
We have a calculation that will maybe will separately share with you, cable fire load.
Okay.
But basically, the fire load is depending on the area where to be used this cable.
Lakshmi, can you post his mail ID of Mukherjee's mail ID in the chat box so that people
Yes, sir.
can, write to him to get
Mhm.
this kind of information. So Rakesh ji, we will have the email ID posted in the chat box. You can write to him and get the calculation that is required. So Karthik Kumar, how long fire survey cable property lasts after installation?
After installation, fire survivable property will continue till it is using. So we have seen that around 20 to 25 years, the cable does not have any problem until and unless there is a mechanical damage from this.
So Gaurav is asking, what does oxygen index signifies?
Yeah, there is a good questions. So normally we measure oxygen index higher than the room temperature index. So what happened, any material, or you consider any article, so that article is having a flash point. So flash point means at this temperature the material will automatically ignite, automatically take fire. So we test that one. Now, flash point we cannot taste directly. So what we do, we increase the oxygen level and see at what percentage of oxygen the material burns. So then that percentage we take, let us say we say that 36% oxygen index or 32%. So we plot into the graph, and then we make a temperature index from the oxygen index after calculation. This temperature index means at this temperature the material will burn.
Thank you. So wonderful. It's good information that you have shared. Karthik
Mhm.
Kumar again. Is there periodic testing to check the integrity of fire survival property?
Yes, possible. But normally fire survivable property, to check it requires 1.5 meter sample length. Online we cannot check this one. So if once you check this, then you can install. After installation on the cable, we cannot check this property.
So good question from Ashish is asking, how do we cross-check the cables? That is, whether it is flame-proof or a normal at site. Is it by, do you have any, code or references?
Normally, we check it by make a flame and then put the cable over the flame. It does not catch fire. That normally you'll do, but that does not serve the purpose. So if you want to understand the whole cable, whether it is fire retardant, means there is no flame, and toxicity and other things, I think you'll have to give it to the testing agency who can test it and give it to a report to you. That
No.
is more reliable. That is more
Yeah,
reliable.
but example like Polycab is supplying fire service. But how do we cross-check by the way look at box, or can they ask for the manufacturing certificate, or is any proof that whether the cable that is supplied? Because if you see, they people claim it for a fire survey cable, but it need not be. But as a project manager at the site, how does he confirm that this is a fire survey cable? Do you have, do they carry any certificate, or do they carry any, approval label on the coil or the cable?
Yes, very much. So when we supply to the customer, one, two, three things are there. One, we give a test certificate, type test certificate. Then we give a LPCB copy also if the customer wants LPCB's approvals copy. And also we have a possibility of having a inspection. Customer can come and see the inspection on his own eyes. So from the cable drum or spool, we cut in front of the customer, cut his piece sample, and taste it in front of him, so that he can personally convinced on this. So these three four things we do, so that the customer reliability will be more. Apart from this, we stand guarantee for 24 months after starting the use. So we take a
So,
chance on this.
so you mean to say the customer, if the requirement is around 10,000 meter, which is almost 10 kilometer in a building for fire
Mm.
alarm. So before they supply, the client can come and visit the finished, ready to ship material, or so they can send it back to you for to Polycab to test the cable, whether it is
Yeah, yeah.
original
Yes.
or duplicate, all that. Is that
Sure,
possible?
sure. Yeah, yeah. But we do not taste normally other customers' cable. We do taste only for Polycab.
Yeah, only for cable. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
sure.
no. As you said, many people asking for the different companies' cable. Can you taste this? So that we do not take a chance.
Okay, understood. So somebody claiming it's polycab, they can always cross-check with
Yes, yes.
the factory. That information, if you can put it in chat box home, because there are a lot of duplicate cables floating in the market, claiming it's a fire survey cable, but though it is not. But if they want to write to someone to cross-check, polycab supplied cables are certified. So you can probably put it in the chat box. Chiranjeev can put it in chat box. So
One more thing,
Jayachandra is asking,
Mr.
can you
Bhumik,
please provide the
in this regard, I want to tell you one thing: is that many people are claiming also the LPCB certificate they have, but somehow the customer who wants to buy or who wants to cross check, they can go to internet LPCB site and they can cross check the name of the polycab whether it is there or not. That is the authentication or validation.
Oh, very nice. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. This presentation, whatever Mr. Mukherjee is presenting, will be available on NFE website. So when you go to NFE website, you can access to YouTube channel. We have a NFE YouTube channel that will be uploaded in it, and you can access to this presentation. So Imran Maul is asking, while selecting cable size, can we follow same technical specification of XLPE CU armored, or there are some difference between spec, as NEC don't have any selection chart for fire survival cable?
No, this normal selection chart cannot be used. Whatever is given IS 3961 or IEC 60364. So this is purely we supply a data sheet, product data sheet, where the selection chart is there. So that can be used by the customer.
Okay, Nageshwar Rao is asking, any specific procedures for laying of fire survival cable? Is any standard that says how to lay the cable?
Yeah, yeah. This has to be have a very unique laying installation. Only point is that that bending radius has to be very high, because many people they make a small bending radius, small turnover, uh, very high dragging force. The people are using, so those things you have to uh, take care.
Oh, this is important. I think not many people are aware of this laying is so critical. Uh,
Yes, yes.
I, I don't know whether it covered in the presentation, but this is a very good information for the project managers and the site engineers. Brajesh is asking, if fire happens or a part of the cable sees does not need to be replaced. So does it need to be replaced? So fire happens, part of the cable sees. Does it need to be? Of course, you need to replace, because outer sheath is damaged, so you need to replace. So
Not only
next,
that, yeah, not only that, even the temperature goes through conductor also. So internally there are some damages also. So whenever there is a part which is not burnt, but still it is getting damaged from the inside, so whole thing should be replaced for this.
So Guru Prasad is asking, what is the difference between BS standard and IS standard? British standard and Indian standard. What is? I don't know the question, but did you refer as a BS standard and IS standard, Mukherjee?
No, so there are two standards. One is that manufacturing standard. If we start from the olden days, so manufacturing standard was BS 7846 and testing standard is BS 6387. Now India has made standard BIS, which is IS 17505, which is exactly same as BS 7846. So there is no difference on this. Only some symbol is difference, but otherwise, whole thickness, current rating, everything's conductor size, everything is same. So people can follow same IS 17505, but for confirmation or validity or oversure, they can go for BS 6387 for testing.
Hasmukh Sombabai. So he's asking, what is the higher value of the fire resistant cable?
Higher value means which respect?
So please clarify which respect higher value is. So Mahesh, hope the circuit integrity is only required for the fire alarm and public address system for quick evacuation. Is there any other reason to consider the circuit integrity?
Circuit integrity is considered for various reasons, not only for evacuation and operation. So there are a lot of equipments, sensitive equipments are there, a lot of fire alarming systems are there. Nowadays, if you see the modern smart homes, so there are control room in the high-rise building. So control room, there are BMS system is there, building management system. The whole building management system is run by a cable which is called BMS cable. There also people are using for circuit integrity type of cable, because you can see the whole thing: pump operation, AC operation, then your lift operation, then fire safety equipment operation, everything. So there also circuit integrity is mandatory now.
Okay. Arvind Deshpande is asking, do we take concealed cable load while calculating fire load, because we may not know quantum of cable or mix of cable?
So this question is not clear much. Maybe a little bit clarification is required.
Concealed cable load. Anyway, let's hope we'll clarify. Dilip, what is the comparative chart of fire survey cable and normal cable? Do we have any comparison chart between the two cables?
This we can share with him.
Yeah,
My email
please
ID
write
is
to
there.
him. We'll get back. So
Yeah.
Pradesh is what is the SC level of the cable? What happens if the cable some SC faults? Whether we can continue?
No, if there is a fault, you cannot continue on this cable.
Okay, Ashmuk is come back. How much rate difference between normal cable and fire retardant cable? How much rate difference? That is what he was asking. Anyway.
That commercial part we'll tell you later, because we don't want to discuss here.
Um,
But
Mohammed,
it is not
Mohammed,
the
sorry. Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, it is not the same as the normal power cable, because there are a lot of components inside. So maybe price always obviously will higher, but that will take care later.
Yeah, good. There are a lot of project managers asking various questions, which is site related, how to check. We need a lot of many people are appreciating Mukherjee's presentation. A lot of people want, the PPT. As I said, the PPT will be available on our website. You can go through it carefully. But if you want more detail, you can always, you were forwarded, Mohammed Shahzad is asking, sent a PPT request. It is available, but you want to have anything more technical details, you can write to Mukherjee of Polycab. So,
Yeah,
Guru
sure.
Prasad, Is it mandatory to use FS cable for a basement ventilation system, staircase ventilation system?
Obviously, that's what NEC is asking to do this.
Yeah, it's mandatory as per the National Electrical Code of India. So
Yeah.
Richard is asking, what is the minimum size of wire that could be manufactured under CWZ category? CW category.
So this is specified from starts from 1.5 square mm. So below is possible but does not fall into the standard. So NEC is also recommended 1.5 square mm. So let us consider lowest size 1.5 square mm cable.
1.5 square mm. Another question, Argur. After laying, how can we check the mica is intact?
So that you cannot check inside. So that has to be done before laying and can check. That's what we always recommend, that the bending radius should be high and it is a straight laying, and even there is a bending, that bending curve should be taken, and sidewall force and uh, dragging force should be very very minimum, so that the internal damage will be not there. Cable
Okay.
installation, there is always a sidewall force is very very high, because we make a lot of bends on this during installation, so that we'll have to take care.
So Ravindra Manikan is asking, sir, is it implemented in any building? Yes, yes. So many, if you go to Google Office, you go to any multinational, project managers don't allow you to do a very ordinary cable of 1.5 mm for this. It is a mandatory. If you want the system integrity even during emergency, you must use this. It's a mandatory. It is implemented in many buildings. This is for Ravindran's question. Brajesh is asking how to verify no break in inner mica layer at site after installation. That is already been answered. So, Vaibhav, in case of mechanical damage to the FS cable, can we use fire rated cable joint kit? Can you tell me?
joint
Mukherjee?
joint
Yeah.
kit is not allowable, because when there is a discontinue of mica, so there will be a problem. So jointing kits cannot join mica. They can join conductor, they can join insulation, but mica is not possible. So we'll have to replace this one.
So, Imran question asking, in many cases, fire alarm and PA are concealed in slab. So, in that case, can we use normal FRLSH cable?
No, for this corridor means what I said is escape route, or wherever circuit integrity is very very important. There we cannot use normal cable, because normal
No, we have lost you, Mr. Mukherjee. We can't hear you. Hello, hello. We lost you. Can you come back, Mr. Mukherjee? Anyway, with this, there is no question. We had around 28 questions. We have tried to answer almost all the questions. I don't know whether our president, Mr. Gopakumar, is online in this. No, he is not there. So wonderful. The question answers seems to be quite interesting. A lot of project managers, electrical professionals asking questions. This is the beginning of our on cable series. As I said, Polycab has been partnered to National Federation of Electrical Science for various workshops. They display all these cables. They show you the sample. They show us how it is manufactured, how it is tested. So those who are keen to know more about fire survival cable, write to us or write to Polycab or write to us. We can direct that to Polycab team to respond to you. Uh, we are a non-profit organization. NF is a non-profit organization, so we welcome people to refer our various knowledge-sharing webinars. Videos are available, and also we encourage our subscriber to prefer those who are voluntarily promoting us, and financially they're helping us to reach out and educate people. So I want to thank Polycap for their continuous support, and also reach out to audience through webinar in technically wanted a presentation. So we'll also come back with more of such a series. We'll try and come back. We'll have a dialogue with Polycap next session. It was very nice presentation made by Mr. Mukherjee. And also I want to thank Chiranjeev, who coordinate with us, and of course Rashekar Reddy for leading this initiative with NFE. I want to thank my backend team, Navyam, Jose, and Lakshmi for supporting at the backend. And on behalf of NFE, I want to thank all the audience for joining us today. We had wonderful. We had over 550 registration, and we will get back to all of you with more detail. So have a wonderful week. Have a safe week with your family. Look forward for to see you again for next webinar on next Saturday. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Bye bye. Thank you.